Frage Nummer 5, Question Number 5. Öffne das Formular Gebrauchtwagen in der Entwurfansicht und ändere das Wort im Formularkopf von Kilometer auf km. Translation: Open the formular called Gebrauchtwagen and you have to open it in the design view and change or modify the title called kilometer. You turn it into km. Let's go and do that. We click on the form, and while we are on the form, they want us to go to the design view. We go to the design view of the form, and in the header there is we are looking for a title which is called kilometer, and we have to change it and turn it into km. I can see it right here, but it's really little, you know. So all we have to do is to change it from kilometer. Well, I can, let me put a little bit of, they didn't ask for it, but so for you to see a little better. Let's put it bold so you can see better. See? KM. Frage Nummer 6, Question Number 6. Sortiere im Formular Gebrauchtwagen die Datensätze aufsteigen nach der Farbe. Translation: we have to go to the field called Farbe and sort it ascending. Let's go and do that. Still in the formular called Gebrauchtwagen. Let's go and do that. We are still in the formular called Gebrauchtwagen. We are just going to change the view now. In order to sort, you have to change the view. You can sort from this view. So we change, and now we are on the layout view. And from here on, you can select, the whole field called Farbe, and then you go to the tab Home, and then you choose Ascending. So they ascended it. We have reached the second page. Okay, first page, second page. And now Frage Nummer 7, Question Number 7. Erstelle 5 Abfragen über die Tabelle Gebrauchtwagen. Alle Felder sollen angezeigt werden. Abfrage A. Erstbesitz günstig, Preis zwischen 7.000 und 30.000 Euro. Abfrage weniger Kilometer. Alle Gebrauchtwagen mit einem Kilometerbestand über 50.000. Abfrage Klimaanlage mit Klimaanlage. Abfrage Blau-Rot. Alle Autos, die entweder blau oder rot sind, nach Farbe absteigend sortiert. Abfrage sofort verfügbar. Alle Marken, die erst nach dem 1.12.2012 verfügbar sind, sortiert nach dem Datum aufsteigen. Drücke diese Abfrage aus. Translation of question number 7. Create 5 queries over the table called Gebrauchtwagen, choosing all the fields. First query is going to be called Erstbesitz, showing all the prices between 7.000 and 30.000 euro. The second query is going to be called Weniger Kilometer, showing all the discount cars with kilometer status under 50,000. Query number 3 called Klimaanlage, showing all the selected boxes. You will understand. Query number 4 is going to be called Blau-Rot, showing all cars with color blue or red. And then we have to sort the field called Farbe, color, descending this time. The query number 5 is going to be called Sofort verfügbar, showing all the cars marked which were available after the 1st February of 2012. And then we have to sort the field containing the date ascending, and then they want us to print, but I'm not going to print because I ain't got no printer. And now we have to go back to the table, not to the form no more, but to the table, in order to create all the queries, to select of course, and then tap create, and we want a couple of queries. Let's create the first one. as I told us, we have to choose all the fields. We make sure it's really the table called Gebrauchtwagen. So we want all the fields, and all we have to do is to give a name all the time. Okay, the first one is called, you remember, Erstbesitzgünstig. Okay. So here you can check on the navigation pane. We have created our first query with the table called Gebrauchtwagen. So this is the query. On this query, we have to choose the prices between 7,000 and 30,000. So we have to filter. This is what's required on this query. So we can just select the number filters here and put a between 7,000, let's say, and 30,000. Yes, and then you hit OK, and it is filtered. I can show you now it's filtered, and with the sign over here you can see the filtering symbol. Okay, so we are done with the first query. This one is called wenige Kilometer, as you remember, and here they want okay, we have to insert a criteria. The kilometer status has to be under 50,000. So let's go ahead on the design view, and under the field called the kilometer, which is right here, we want to go under, criteria. I hope you can see right. So in criteria, we just put under 50,000. 50,000. So that's it. Then we go back to the datasheet view, and it is filtered. The kilometer status is less than 50,000 everywhere. Okay, this is already our third query. The first one is Erstbesitzgünstig, weniger Kilometer, and now Klimaanlage. This is the field called Klimaanlagen, meaning air conditioning system, and they want us to just filter choosing the selected box. So we go, on the symbol select, and we choose is selected. So these are the one who wants air conditioning. So this is our new query called Blaurot, and they want us to select all the cars, with color red or blue. Blau und Rot. Okay. So as you can see, we have 10 cars with the color red or blue. Okay, this query is good, so you can always go and check how many you already have performed. So we have the first one called Erstbesitzgünstig, and we have the weniger Kilometer, we have Klimaanlage, and now we have Blaurot. Okay, and then remember we have to sort it descending using the field called Farbe. It is sorted. So let's move on with the last query called Sofort verfügbar. Let's go and do that. So on this query we have to select some dates. So better to choose the date filter, and we choose the option after. It is after the 1st February of 2012. Okay, and now it is filtered. So these are all the cars. Verfügbar means available after the 1st of February 2012. Here we have to sort also. Remember, we have to sort it also ascending. So it is sorted. Then once we have done that, we are supposed to print this table, but I don't have no printer, but I'll show you how you go and print. Of course, you have to go by tab file, and you choose option print, and here you can choose to print preview, and so, and here you have the page setup. Remember, you can set up the top, bottom, and then hit OK. So if you want to print, you have to go to the tab print, and then you have to select what you want to print. If you want selected records, so or you want to print a specific page, so you're going to find your way here. So I'm not going to print anything. I cannot print. Okay, let's go back. This is the last question of the exercise, and then we are going to move on with other things. All right. Frage Nummer 8, question number 8. Erstelle 2 Berichte über die Tabelle Gebrauchtwagen. Translation, this time we have to create 2 reports over the table called Gebrauchtwagen. And then we go on with further instructions contained in the question number 8. Bericht Gebrauchtwagen 1. Der Bericht soll alle Felder und Datensätze enthalten, Querformat. Translation of this one, you will have to choose to take all the fields and then to select Landscape. Öffne den Bericht Gebrauchtwagen 1 in der Entwurfansicht, Überschrift Gebrauchtwagenverkauf. Kopiere die Überschrift aus dem Berichtkopf Gebrauchtwagen und füge sie am Berichtfuß ein. Translation, once we have created the report called Gebrauchtwagen 1, we have to go to the design view and operate some changes, like we have to take the title Gebrauchtwagenverkauf and move it from the header to the footer of the report page. And then we move on with Bericht Gebrauchtwagen 2. Der zweite Bericht soll alle Felder und Datensätze enthalten, nach Farbe gruppiert, dann nach Baujahr, dann nach Marke, Darstellung abgestuft, Querformat, grau. For the creation of the second report called Gebrauchtwagen 2, we have to choose all the fields again and choose the field color for the grouping, and then Baujahr, construction year, and then Marke, the mark. And then we have to choose the option stepped, and then landscape, color gray. Let's go and do that. For the table called Gebrauchtwagen, so we are already under the tab create. All we have to do is to go to reports, and then table Gebrauchtwagen. This is what we want, all the fields. And the only instruction we have for this one is, so we choose the default when we don't have any further instructions. All they want us to be choosing here is landscape. We want landscape, next, and we call it Gebrauchtwagen 1. That's it. Okay. We have our report. This is how it looks like. And so from so we have to switch the view. We go to the design view. Let's focus on what we get to do. And we have to choose the label, and we move it from the page header, as you can read here, the page header, the detail, the page footer, and the report footer. So we have to move this label from the page header and move it to the page footer. Let's do it together. So the one selected in yellow, so you have to wait for the cross. When the cross comes, you move it, so you can move it. We put it now on the footer, page footer, report footer. We are creating then the second report, all fields. And then they gave us some instruction concerning the grouping. That was Farbe. You click twice to make sure so that your grouping is going to appear. Farbe, Baujahr, and Marke. Yes. So we can click to next. and here they want the layout stepped, and they want it landscape. And then we can move on to Gebrauchtwagen 2, and we can finish. This is our report, but let's choose maybe a, no, I don't know which color you want. Blue. So you can change the font color. You can put a theme. So they didn't ask us that, but we could change the theme. Here you have browse for themes, save current themes, etc. So let's choose this one. And so this is the way we can do it. So you can take a look at your report. You change the design. So they said gray, but you know, you can put the color. So so we're good. All right, you all, now that we have you know, finished the exercise together, I want to move on. Let's come to calculation fields in a query. Let's choose, for instance, the query called Erstbesitzgünstig, because I know they have a couple of numbers on this query. So now we are on the datasheet view of the queries. Here they have you know, the kilometer, they have you know, and they have also some dates, they have some prices. This one is quite complete. So let's choose this one, and we want to perform some calculation. Let's say we want to add a field right after the prices. So here we are on the datasheet view, so we have to switch and go to the design one. So here, so after the field here, so you can mark it all the time. Okay, after this field called price, we want to add another field here called, let's say, discount, rabatt, and we are going to make a discount of 10% of the price. So let's insert this calculation. You have to insert it on the first row of the field. So this is the formula for the discount. So rabatt, which means discount, price minus price slash 100 multiply per 10, which means 10%. So then we go back to our datasheet view, and then we check if we have the new field called rabatt, and this is the new field called rabatt. So you remember the last one was price, and we just created one new. You can make it bigger if you need. So these are, you know, it's in euro, but here it's just going back to the field where you made the calculation. You can right click and you land on the properties, and here you have the format if you want to change the price in Swiss francs, so you can put it in euro. So we can change it here in euro. It's done, and then we go back to check on the, and now you can check if you change it. You did change it, so now both are in euro. So let's go ahead and make another change. So we go back to the design view, and but I'm going to call it Erhöhung, which means increase. Let's go ahead and do that. New calculation. Still on our query called Erstbesitz, we have added a new field called rabatt, meaning discount, and now we are adding a new field called Erhöhung, meaning increase. And then what I did right now is that I added just a field close to this one called Erhöhung, and so we check the box so it can be shown, and here I made an increase of 5%. The new formula is called price plus price slash 100 multiplied per 5, which is 5%. Okay, let's go and take a look at on the datasheet view, and here let's check if we have a new field. So here we have the field we created together called rabatt, And now this is a new field called Erhöhung, and this is the Erhöhung 5%. So it's working. This is how you calculate the field on the query. So we have added two fields, you remember, so Rabatt and Erhöhung. And now let's